guys are all familiar with in one way or another. So first of all, what is it? Online social networks are websites which encourage members in online communities to share interests, ideas, photos, and videos with other users. Some social networks let users communicate via video chat and play online games, and you can interact with an online social network through a browser or a mobile device. If you look at the history of social media, I started with this. After blogging was invented in 1999, sites like MySpace gained popularity in the early 2000s, and photo sharing sites like Flickr also gained popularity. YouTube came out in 2005, which created an entirely new way for people to share ideas across distances. By 2006, both Facebook and Twitter became available to users across the globe, and these sites are still pretty popular today. Other sites like Spotify, Pinterest, and Foursquare also came out to fill specific niches in the online community. An account with an online social network includes your personal information, and you can create several of these accounts for personal and private activities through a bunch of interfaces. You can view the profiles of other users and designate them as your friends if you want. Fun fact, the reason that most social networks are all blue like these is because blue is a color that registers as like security and like safety. So features of social networks, one are hashtags. It's basically just a number sign like a pound symbol. Initially it began on Twitter, but today is virtually expanded to all social networks. It describes or categorizes a post, and users can search for posts on these topics. Another feature are location services, which are used on social media to share a location with friends if you're on vacation or what have you. And its used when the device is GPS enabled or for business or promotional events, which is called then checking in. You can use it for personal uses. You can have a status update which informs your friends of what you're doing. You can like or react to others' updates, and people will be able to see that you reacted to the post. And activity updates from your friends will appear on a separate page called a newsfeed. There's also, you can use social networking for professional uses like LinkedIn for hiring and recruiting. And businesses also can use it to connect with customers, gather data, and promote activities using targeted advertising. There's a lot of effects of social media. I mean, it's like pretty much all of our daily lives. So we'll start with the positive effects. It's easy to work and share with groups like Google Doc and what else. You can be connected closer with family or relatives that you don't get to see all the time, and you can be in touch with the world and make new friends with common grounds that you found with people with common interests. There's also, of course, the negative effects, which is what most people talk about. You get a false sense of connection. There's cyberbullying, which is the First Lady's targeted issue. CBS News reports 42% of users have been cyberbullied in some way. There's decreased productivity, and there's obviously a big loss of privacy. Another concern is safety. When you register for an online social network, you should register with caution and try not to disclose too much personal information. You can manage your profile by checking your privacy settings and by monitoring who can view your profile. And you should always periodically check your settings to make sure there has been an update in the privacy policy. There's also, you should monitor who your friends are. You should also choose your friends pretty wisely. You should verify with the sender that who the person sending you the request is who they say they are, and limit your friends really to only know who you know in real life. Next, I kind of went off topic, but I did like social media like in our popular culture. So there's a lot in movies, like obviously The Social Network, which came out in 2010, which like dramatizes the story of Facebook. And then there's a horror movie, less popular, Unfriended, which is like shows the suicide of a girl based on how she was cyberbullied. There's also in politics, in the recent presidential election, there's a lot of social media with Bernie Sanders' fan base being mostly millennials, and the infamous, of course, Twitter fights between President Trump and former Secretary Hillary Clinton. And it's also pretty prevalent in music. With in the upper right, you have Chance the Rapper, who only releases his songs on SoundCloud or YouTube, which are both free apps. And then like the 2008 ongoing Twitter narrative between Taylor Swift and Kanye West, which has both spawned new paths for their careers. And then also I want to address like, what's the next big thing? Everyone always tries to predict this. So then, first you have to understand what a platform is. A platform is basically a service that's like kind of streamlined that everyone kind of has, that like eventually they become the same. So you have like Snapchat and Instagram stories, which are virtually the same thing. One thing I predict maybe would be social shopping. So instead of going from like Facebook to the site to buying it, you would just go like buy directly from Facebook using Apple Pay or Android or. And then finally, maybe social media at work being more productive. I know Facebook is putting out like a new like exclusive like server for just like employees like during the day where they can all share ideas